Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome, my name is Aiden. I am so happy that you're here. Today we have an eyeshadow roundup. I have tested out 10 palettes over the course of the month of June, and I wanted to talk to you about them. They are some eyeshadow palettes, but there are also a couple eyeshadow and face product palettes in here as well, because we're testing out what I haven't gotten to so far. If you haven't already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you remember these palettes. We're running down the road of nostalgia on some of these. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on my ranking down below as well. And I'll show you what I wore. So in order of what I wore them, I have the Huda Topaz Obsessions. Then I have Huda Warm Brown Obsessions. And I think this is my last Huda palette that I haven't talked about in one of these. Huda Sapphire Obsessions. We went through a lot of Huda at the beginning of the month. Bare Minerals. This is the Sweetest Thing Quad. We have the Dior. What is this? This is the Pink Riviera palette. It is one of the new limited editions that came out this spring. Then we have Lime Crime Venus Vivid. I think this is my last Lime Crime palette too. A little sad there will be no more. We have Too Faced Best Year Ever. Then we have Protege by Suva, another old Too Faced. This is Christmas in New York. And then finally, the Divergent palette. I got this at Sephora. I don't know who put it out because I've never heard of HCT Group. I feel like it might have been a Sephora brand. But let me know. In last place is this little Bare Minerals palette. This is called the Sweetest Thing. It's just a little quad. It does still have the foam applicator, which I just kind of left in there, but I haven't used it in years. It's just 4 shades. You have that very pale yellow, a pale pink, brown, and then a gray. I found that this gave really a retro type of a feel to me. The shades worked nicely. I actually, it was a very easy palette to work with. It is kind of a 2-color look. So I think I did the gray and the pink and the yellow and the brown, if I remember right. I didn't go too adventurous with it, but just tried it a couple days and it worked nicely. It just wasn't the most exciting. It doesn't have the most versatility as some of these other ones do. In second to last spot is the Huda Sapphire Obsessions. This one is it is a very specific vibe and it is so bold. That was my first note, was so bold, hard to work with and create looks. I liked the green shade the best, but I feel like this is more of an accent palette that you want to use with some other things, like you just want to pop a blue, but to make just a bunch of blue, it was very hard. The green does show up a little bit. It shows up better, I feel like, on the eye than next to all these bold blues. The silver does have a nice, look to it. It does catch the light nicely, but like I said, so bold, very hard to work with. I'm not the biggest blue fan as it is, so this was kind of like a disaster waiting to happen. That's why it's lower down, because I feel like it really is an accent palette more so than a palette in and of itself. Next up is the Venus XL Vivid. No, not XL, just Vivid. I have the XL palettes too, but Venus Vivid. This one is kind of a rainbow palette. It has a lot of very bold colors in it, but they are buildable. They do not come out so bold like the Huda ones that make it very difficult to work with. So I said very specific colors can make it work, but it is a bit much overall. But yeah, I was surprised. Like, if you look at these swatches, they caught a little bit. They're not super dark by any means, but you can build them up. So case in point, let's do the green. We're going to add some more. So you can build them up, and even the shimmers, like this yellow down here is a shimmer, and you can build them up, but I appreciated that they weren't super bold immediately, because that makes it very difficult to work with, especially a palette like this. I did get some interesting looks. I did the green and the pink together. I think I did the purple and orange together, and then the blue and yellows, and they were okay looks. not my favorite. That's why it's down here. There's other ones that I just felt like I liked better than this one. The next palette in my roundup is the Topaz Obsessions from Huda. I have a couple of these that are similar in nature, but this one I said the shimmers are okay. I did enjoy the shimmers, but the tones are too similar, both in terms of the mattes and the shimmers. Like if you look at the shimmers, like they're kind of, these two seem pretty similar. The mattes, there's nothing that really stands out. I felt like I just was making the same look over and over and over as I was using this and testing it out and really trying to use it. They're not bad. They're just, it felt too repetitive, and I wasn't thrilled with any of the looks that I created. Rounding out the bottom half, I have this palette. It was at Sephora. I don't know what the brand is. It says HCT Group, but this was made for Divergent, the movie and books. Well, this was specifically for the movies. Did I like the movie? No. Did I like the book? No. I actually decided, finally, I gave all of my books to my best friend because she was like, oh, I liked them. And I was like, do you want mine? And I was missing one of them, probably the third book, but I had 4, the book about 4. So anyway, she got all the hardbacks that I bought at Costco, full price, well, full Costco price, because I just was like, I didn't care about any of the characters. You know, parents die, and I'm like, meh. I didn't care about any of the characters. Wasn't feeling excited about the story at all. The movie the same way. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of these books. It's very hard to get rid of books. Being, you know, teaching English or writing as it is. So this is the palette, and I bought it, was on clearance at Sephora. I got it, I'm pretty sure, in the Sephora Inside pennies when I got it. So that's what it looks like. It's just 3 eyeshadows, a blush, and a bronzer. It did have a lip gloss, which I did declutter a while ago. That's what the shades look like. You have a very dark brown. The bronzer, the biggest bummer of this was the bronzer. I said the bronzer fades, but everything else was surprisingly nice. So I did go over the bronzer twice with that one because it wasn't showing up. It was the least exciting of it. So I think I used this in the crease, and then I did like an eye look with the eyeshadows, and then used the blush. And other than the bronzer, it was nice. So none of these this time I'm decluttering, which I think is pretty good. And I was surprised how highly that one ranked when I like laid out all of my palettes and thought about it. Starting the top 5, we have this oldie but goodie. This is the Too Faced Best Year Ever. This was a holiday palette. 2018. I think it came out in 2017 though. It was meant to be used in the next year. And I used it a little bit, but it largely has sat unused for quite a while because I had separated out my face and eye palettes like that were combined. But this is what it looks like. You have 24 shades, 24 shades, and then you have the bronzer, blush, and highlight, which I feel like these might not last you a full year. The highlight, yes, but the bronzer, probably not. We're going to start with the bronzer, blush, and highlight. So there they are on the back. The highlighter was chunky. I only wore it one day, and then I was like, nope, not good. Don't want to use it again. I liked the blush and the bronzer, and a good mix of colors. The lights are a little bit stark, but good overall. So you're going to see that starkness of those lights in this first, these are the first 12, and then I will come back and do the next 12. So there you go. You have very stark colors. I thought about using it today because I didn't have a lighter shade to like do up in my brow bone, but they are pretty darn stark with this. But there is, like you can see, a good mix. These are the first 3 rows. Put it next to my face or else it just doesn't want to show. So you have some dark browns, you have a kind of a maroon, you have that kind of, I guess that is a black. The green is farther in. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but that's all the colors. Let me swatch the other ones. Okay, we have the second half. I think the second half is just more beautiful than the first. Also, once again, I wanted to show you the blush, bronzer, and highlighter just so you got a good idea. It's the Chocolate Soleil. It's kind of the classic bronzer. But there you go. Those are the second half of this one. Is not quite a black. It's almost like a bluish black. This one is a sequin shade that has like the glitter in it. Don't know if you can see that shimmer a little bit, and right here. And then you have kind of like a almost a shimmer black out of the pan. So yeah, I liked this palette. It makes me want to play with it some more in the upcoming year. But I don't know. I feel like they were getting a lot of hate around this time, and I still enjoyed their eyeshadow. So I don't know what that says about me. All right, in fourth place, we have the Huda Warm Brown Obsessions. A little different than the Topaz. I said the nice matte, good variety of tones, needs more shimmers though. I think I mixed some of the shimmers from the Topaz with this one actually, because I felt like I just needed some different shimmers. So that's what they look like next to each other. There's almost some overlap, and it feels like the shades in these two. But this one in particular, here we go with them all swatched. As you can see, the shimmer is down there at the bottom. There are a couple shades that are similar-ish when you get them on your skin, but I felt like overall this one was more versatile than the Topaz Obsessions, and I liked that better because I felt like I got more use out of it. So that's Warm Brown Obsessions. In third place, we have the Suva Protege palette. This is a kind of highlighter and eyeshadow palette, a little different than what I have used recently. So I said the highlighters are blinding, which you will see they definitely are. Would like some mid-tone mattes in there because it felt like you have this very light, you have a nice shimmer in there, and then you have the dark, but it was kind of hard. I didn't feel like the eye looks were quite complete when I did it, but these are the highlighters down here at the bottom. They are very, very blinding. They're very nice and light. I would use them as eyeshadows too. I just didn't for this experiment. I really liked this palette. I thought it was nice. Like I said, I would like a mid-tone to kind of blend in a little bit, do a crease color, but otherwise it is a very beautiful palette. In second place, we have the Christmas in New York palette. This is the Chocolate Shop Cocoa Powder Infused. I don't really get a chocolate scent anymore, unfortunately. This is another one where you definitely need 2 times to go through it. Woo, and it's very, I feel like it got dark in here all of a sudden. So I did swatch the highlighter, the bronzer, and the blush, which is called Chocolate Covered Cherry. I love that. And then I swatched these 9 over here. It does have 3 less eyeshadows than the Best Year Ever, but here we go. You can see there's the blush, bronzer, and highlight at the top. They're very light shades in these first kind of rows in some ways, but in other ways there's some beautiful ones. This Sugared Raisin, oh my gosh, on the eyes was so beautiful. I really liked that one. It does have a little bit of fallout, you know, it's a chunkier shade, but there we go. Let me tell you what I said. I said face products are very pretty, love the shimmers, really enjoyed the looks, and the mattes blended well. So everything that I kind of wanted, it is lighter, but I feel like the looks were very pretty, and I feel like this, the lighter kind of looks is more popular now than it was back when this came out. So I've been enjoying it. Let me swatch the rest of them. Okay, here we go. We have the last 12 shades. I kind of went back and forth, so you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is what they all look like. There are some beautiful shimmers in here. Like, I just felt like the looks were pretty. They had that sparkle on the eye, which I was hoping for, and they weren't overwhelming. It worked well. So it was pretty easy to create looks, and that was what I have been looking for lately. And I'll give you one more look at the shimmers. There you go. They look really oily when that's in the way. Okay, before I stick my fingers in this next one, because I was very light with the brush when I went in, I want you to see how pretty it is. This one I've taken some of the gold leaf off of, but the embossing, it's so cute. It has a little tiger. I'm going to try to not damage it as much as possible, but Just wanted you to see how pretty it was before I stick my fingers in it. Okay, so my number one palette was the Dior palette. There they are swatched. They are tiny swatches because I was trying to not damage it as much as possible. Which is silly, I know, but it's so pretty. I really liked this palette. I did not take any notes on this because this, I had already packed up my little sheet. I print these out every month to write down my thoughts. And I had already packed it up when I was wearing this, so I didn't write down my notes. Then we were traveling. Those days I didn't wear any like eyeshadow. I just put some bronzer in my crease, and then I had a Give shadow, liquid shadow, and that's what I did on my days of traveling. So very minimal, didn't wear anything. So I didn't have any specific notes. I remember liking it and looking at it. It's the prettiest. So it ended up as number one this month. So that is it for my eyeshadow roundup for the month of June. I can't believe we're already in July and I'm already on eyeshadow 2, palette 2 from what I'm working on. So let me know your thoughts if you've tried any of these palettes. If you remember any of these palettes, we did a little bit down some nostalgia, that is for sure. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.